Thank you guys all for coming. We're excited to have this. The Republican Central Committee is excited to be here for you guys, or to get this thing started, and we're happy about that. I want to start off with a couple thank yous, one of which is to the NRA. They did a great email blast that I'm sure most of you got. They did a robocall also, trying to encourage everybody to come in to this also. I'd also like to thank the gun owners of California. Sam Predis is in here somewhere. And I don't know where he's at, but he's the main guy for the gun owners. They helped pay for the ad in the newspaper this morning that was in there yesterday in the Mountain Democrat. So there's a lot of support for this kind of event. Obviously, by the numbers that are here, you guys can all see that. And so we're excited about that. We do have a few electeds that are here today. One of which is John Frazier. He's with EID. Standing right there. He's also up for re-election. We have San Joaquin Supervisor and former Lodi Mayor and current Assembly 10 candidate, which encompasses El Dorado Hills and other parts, Jack Seaglock. We have Major Gun Supporter Supervisor Ray Nutting. We also have a Major Gun Supporter District Attorney Vern Pearson. Synopsis on the current, a little bit on CCWs. I'd also like to thank Rob Charney, who's the president of the El Dorado Rod and Gun Club. Who is going to allow our Republican Central Committee to do a trap shooting tournament as a fundraiser on October 25th, which, so you guys are into that. For us, we'll be doing that too. I'd also like to thank all the current sheriff candidates for agreeing to do this. It's really early in the season. They've got many months to go. But they were all willing to do this today so that you guys can all find out what their issue is and what they believe in this particular thing. Unlike the Sacramento Bee and their little editorial about this not being a major issue, I think when you for sure look at everybody that's here, it's a major issue no matter what side of it that you are on. And I know that there's different people here that believe in different ones, because I got about 30 emails from different ones of you relating to questions and statements. We also got numerous phone calls in advance of this. So it might not be the only thing you weigh the sheriff candidates on. I think once you look at their resumes, their credentials, and you talk, and you'll find out that every one of these ones are excellent candidates. And I don't think we lose in the long run, but you'll be able to weigh what your vote is off of answers such as things on the CCW. I think we're in for a good time on that, and I'm excited for us to be able to be here and to talk on that issue, and I thank them all for being here. Now we're going to go on to the second news, I think, of the day. That you can see there's at least 500 of you in here. We have chairs for 466. I thought we'd get to about 200 people today. I was a little bit off on my head count. With that, I'm going to have Vern Pearson start with a small thing, and then we'll be getting into the Q&As with Assemblyman Gaines. So when she starts, then I'll go over some of the cues. I only have two microphones. That one on the table you can grab if you want. We can pop this one out if you want to.
I will talk really loud and really short. So we can kind of have some ground rules and start from the perspective of, I know all of you want to ask questions in terms of what the candidates' perspectives are, but there are certain things that you need to understand, and many of you or most of you may already, in terms of what the law is in the state of California. Maybe not what the law should be, but what the law is. And I have my own personal opinions about that, and I'm happy to share with you at another time. If you're very interested in terms of the laws having to do with firearms, in terms of concealability firearms, because we don't have enough time to do that, you can go to our website, the DA's website, and look on it. We have a not completely comprehensive, but a fairly comprehensive, basically handout that explains possession of firearms, concealability of firearms, things of that, where you can carry a firearm in the national forest if you can, those types of things. Just very briefly, in the state of California, it is illegal to possess a concealable or concealed firearm on your person or in your car. That's a generalization that we start with. There's a number of exceptions to that in terms of if you own a business, while you're in your own business or in your own home. In that situation, you can carry a concealed loaded firearm. The other exception, the big one, subject of tonight's forum, is whether or not you can have a concealed firearm by virtue of a license which has been issued to you. Typically, licenses will be issued in the state of California by the county sheriff. Sometimes, in many cities, the chief of police of the city will also, because they statutorily have the authorization to do it, they will have the licenses, or they will issue licenses to residents of that city. Here in this county, the cities have opted, the cities which have incorporated city have police departments, have opted, there's various nicknames for it, but essentially what it is it defers back to the sheriff. And the sheriff of this county is the one who makes the final determination regarding the issuance of carrying concealed weapons licenses. There's been a lot of talk, and I have a very small number for someone who really wants it afterwards. One of the things that you hear a lot about is the determination of what is good cause. I think all of you in this room, most of you, if not all of you, you know the difference. There is what's called a shall issue state, which is, I will say, my personal preference, versus a may issue state. There are 40, it's actually 38 plus 2, but essentially 40 states in the United States which are shall issue, which means that if you apply for a concealed weapons permit, that you meet certain basic legal requirements. In other words, you pass a background check if that's one of the requirements that's imposed. You take a class, whatever type of class, you pass a test, things of that nature. If you meet the requirements that are set forth in advance, there's no discretion on the issuing authority. They shall issue you a concealed carry license. California, on the other hand, is a may issue, which says there are certain basic requirements that are set forth, and then the issuing authority, here the sheriff, may issue a permit. And what they say is, just in shorthand, is that upon a showing of good cause. What you've heard, if you're very interested in this issue, is that there is a 1977 Attorney General opinion, and it's in a form of a letter. I have a small number of copies of it. If you want to see it, it was some great difficulty, even for me, to locate an actual copy of that letter, because it wasn't filed as an official thing, it's just sent out as a letter. I want to read to you, and I'll conclude with that, a very small portion of it, so you understand what the Attorney General, and this was written back in 1977, what the Attorney General at that time said, this is the law in California, and this is the way to interpret good cause. Because I've heard this described by many different people, and invariably, they have not described it the way that it was actually described in that letter. Just very quickly, in evaluating good cause, the issuing authority may first of all consider various factors associated with the individual applicant. All right. The authority might initially consider the applicant's experience and training in the use of firearms. Some certification of training might be required. Secondly, the authority should also inquire into the applicant's